And hello folks, this is David, and today I'm bringing you my quick review of the brand new Piper Navajo by Carenado. The airplane just released today, and I've flown it for probably about 3 hours today. Kind of get used to it so I can give you all my opinions on it. I will say that I have flown the Piper Navajo Chieftain in real life. The Chieftain is the larger version of the Piper Navajo. I have about 50 hours in that airplane, so I do have kind of an understanding of how this airplane should fly. It's been a fair number of years since I've flown that airplane, but I have flown it before. I will say that before we even take off here and start the review, that integrating the GTN 750 into this airplane couldn't have been easier. All you have to do is go into your Sim Objects folder, then go into the particular aircraft folder, like this one is like Carenado, Piper Navajo. You go in there and you'll see three exe files. There'll be one, the GNS 530 if you want to put that in, the stock one, the RXP, or the GTN 750. And the GTN 750 looks great in here, and it's all modeled in 3D with knobs. And they did a really great job integrating that, so hats off to Carenado for that. Some of the other avionics are pretty much just basic stuff, nothing special about them. The radar is kind of a dummy radar, doesn't really work. It's just a typical Carenado showpiece. Alright, well I'm going to do a quick run up here and let y'all hear the sounds in the run up. One thing I did notice about this is it does not have very much of a mag drop when you do the mag check. So if you notice that, there's nothing to really be worried about. But that whooshing sound when you're pulling the prop is present there. But I'll show you what I'm talking about this mag check here. There goes one mag, and that needle just barely moves at all. And the sound of the whooshing prop is actually more present on the right engine than it is on the left. Once again, doing the mag check, just barely moves. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi out and get on the runway and go ahead and take off. I am at Latin VFR's San Juan scenery. Right now I'm at the main airport here in San Juan. Luis Martinez airport, I can't remember the name of it, but I'm there. If you're looking for a scenery in the Caribbean, I can definitely recommend this. It's a great scenery. And the reason I use such a low angle of attack departure is if you lose an engine on takeoff in a twin, any twin, speed is life, and if you maintain a low angle of attack, you're more than likely to be able to retain control of the airplane. And that's just kind of a lesson learned from real world flying. As you can tell, the sound set on this airplane is really nice. One thing I did notice about it is there's absolutely no change in sound pitch between 40 and 35. Once you pull it back past 35, you will get a sound change in the pitch of the sound. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and get started on the actual review of the airplane. The VC is really nicely modeled. There's lots of weathering in the VC, and the plastic textures are really nice looking and really believable. There's a lot of use of photo textures, like here on the yoke. That's a photo texture because it doesn't react to the environment around it. But overall, very nice. The windshield wipers don't work in the park mode on this airplane. And another thing I don't particularly care for in the VC is that none of the curtains in the back seats open and close. There's no controlling of the lights back here. They're either on or off, set by the panel up front. No controlling of the vents. Yeah, that's being really nitpicky, but they have it in the A2A Comanche where you can control the vents and all the lights, and it's just a little extra thing that adds this a little bit more immersion. And also another thing I've noticed is that there's no click spot in the VC to open the door here. That's kind of disappointing. But the texturing work is really great. It shows kind of a weathered airplane like you'd expect to see most Navajos, because most of the Navajos out there have been in charter service and quite honestly are pretty worn out. But like I said, the texturing work in here is beautiful. So hats off to Carenado for that, but there are a few things they could have done better. The VC lighting is one thing that they could definitely do better, and I'll show you that here in a while. And also this really bothers me. You can control these independently, but the problem is you can't adjust them. So that makes them kind of useless. Just being nitpicky, but it's the truth. And a neat little feature would have been that I think I remember from like some FS 2004 aircraft is a click spot right here on this mic that would bring up this communications window. I mean, not necessary, but it would be handy if you could click that to pull it up and then click it to get rid of it. Just a little extra thing. Exterior wise, the airplane looks wonderful. Looks like a Navajo. Texturing is really great and down to the last rivet, showing some wearing. They've really kind of thought out where you're going to see a lot of the wear on this airplane. Like here on the cowl, they're going to pull that cowling off a lot to get to the engines. So you're going to see a lot of wear there, and the wear is different on that side than it is from this side. The wear is a little bit smaller on this side. Even have the data for the baggage sticker there, and they have the data plate and all that. But one thing I just noticed is, look at how detailed the texture is for that light there. That's just really impressive. So the texture detail on this airplane is amazing. The 3D modeling on it is amazing. And I mean, to me, this, when you're over these photo textures like this, it looks like you're flying in San Juan, pretty much. It was at least as close as you can get in Flight Simulator. One thing I have noticed about flying down here a lot is, because I have been down here, is that HDR really messes up the sky colors that Rex provides. So I turned HDR off, and honestly it looks much better, much more believable. The clouds have a nice white color to them instead of kind of a gray milky color. But overall, this is a really great airplane. Do I think it's worth $37.95? No, not really, because we just had the A2A Comanche release with a lot more features and a lot more fidelity for $50. And if I had to choose between the two, I would choose the Comanche 250. So if you're looking for a new airplane in the GA category, go for the Comanche 250. If you're looking for something to fly charters in for your VA, like I do, I fly for Majestic charters, and so light twins or heavy twins like this are a good airplane for that. But, yeah. Also, this is kind of a personal request. If anybody has figured out how to shut up the terrain warnings on this GTN 750, please comment below, because every time I fly this airplane or any airplane with the GTN 750 in the Pacific Northwest, it's constantly screaming terrain, terrain at me, pull up, and unless I'm flying at night, I can usually see the mountains pretty well. But we'll just make a turn back over the city here, just kind of let y'all see the airplane and the scenery. I have spent a good bit of time in San Juan, and I can honestly tell you that this scenery really does the city justice. The color of the water even is pretty spot on when you're up close to shore there. I mean, you can't tell me that right there that doesn't look just so realistic and just so beautiful, honestly. I mean, that's just great. It's amazing how far flight simulators come. I was discussing on AvSim with some people about Flight Unlimited 3, and it's really how far the simulators have come. Alright, we'll get back to the review. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to nighttime, let y'all take a peek at the night lighting of the airplane. And as usual, my load times are pretty slow, because of that old-fashioned disk drive that I have, because I'm cheap and I'd rather spend the money on CPU and a video card. Alright, so as you can see, here's the extent of the panel lighting. Not really all that great. This is with HDR off. With HDR on, it does show up a little bit brighter, but it kind of blinds you to the outside. Here, I'll turn this dome light on it. You can't say it doesn't really do much except kind of give everything kind of a blue color. And yeah, that's about it. I haven't really looked in the back of the airplane yet to see if it does these lights do anything back there. Let's pop over and look. Oh yeah, that looks pretty nice. Not too bright, but it looks good. Nice fake shadows. They did pretty good on that, I'll have to say. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and land, and I will say the sound package, like I said earlier, is certainly second to none. It really does sound good. Got the gear horn going off there. I'm gonna drop the gear. Lighting wise, on the exterior, it's pretty decent. Looks okay. Once again, nothing really special. I just wish that Carenado would do like they did with the Hawker 850 and allow us to adjust, because that sort of thing, that's just kind of behind them after they've put out really good lighting in the Cessna 404, and they've put out really good lighting in the Hawker 850 in most of their more recent releases, and then they kind of went back to that old style of just everything on or off, and just not very happy with that. Another thing is the landing lights. You can't really, while you're in the air, you can't really see very far with them, so that makes them pretty useless, to be totally honest. honest. So they could extend those out a little bit further in a service pack. That would be great. And one more thing I'll show you, this carried over from the Cessna 404, is the shutdown effect is really kind of overdone. Yeah, a real airplane will shake around when you're shutting the engines down, but it's not going to shake this much. But back to the VC lighting, one of the main issues with it, it's so dark in this cockpit. All the switches down here, you can't even see where they're at. And everything up here, once again, you can't really see where it's at. So they need to do something and either illuminate those switches some way, or just make it a little bit brighter in the VC and allow you to adjust it. It's like literally you can't see anything in here. There's a master avionics switch here that may be it. Yeah. Alright. And shut the engines down there. I'll show you in a moment. Like that right there looks good. That looks really bad right there. But oh well. Alright folks, well that pretty much sums up my review of this airplane. And, overall it's a pretty decent airplane. If you really want a Navajo, I'd recommend it. Oh, just noticed this. Even with all the switches off and everything off, the lighting inside the VC is still on, even though in the VC itself, it's all off. So that's just something they're going to need to fix. A little error. No big deal. Alright, folks. Well, hope you have a great one. And that's about it. Have a good one.